Good morning. Today is Q&A Sunday, and we have a good question about the idea about cremation. What is the Christian's view, or what should it be, of cremation? Cremation is an ancient practice that has been mostly done through Hinduism and Buddhism, because cremation plays well with this theology that the reason we're here is to get through a life cycle of pain and misery and hopefully ascend to a higher elevated place when we become reincarnated. The Catholic Church banned cremation until about 1964, and then the Pope said yes, you can be cremated only if your cremation happens after your funeral. And in 1997 that also was changed, where you could be cremated before your funeral. So cremation has a wide history, and so we're going to find out some of the things that we need to know about cremation, some of the pros and some of the cons, and what we should think about them. There's some good arguments for creation, and most of the arguments deal with the whole end result. The argument is that we'll be ashes anyway. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Whether we're ashes in a furnace or ashes in a box, eventually, throughout the period of time that we'll be there, we're going to be dust anyway. So why not just hurry up the process? Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15:47 that our resurrected body will be much different than our physical body. In 2 Corinthians 5, he talks about our body being a tent that we should assume is going to be folded up and put away at some point in our life, which means, of course, that we will die. And so the argument for cremation is, why not do it? In the Christian perspective, cremation sometimes isn't the option. If we look at what Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 6:19, he says that the body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. And so many Christians believe that burial is a better picture of what the resurrection is going to be. Many people believe that to have a body that's physically there shows a precursor of the resurrected body that will take place. And many Christians believe also that having burial is a way to present the body in a respectable manner, because Paul calls the body the temple of the Spirit. Actually, the epicenter of the spiritual worship is within our body. And so to preserve the body is to show everybody that this is something that is of value. And yes, we are looking for the resurrection. So in conclusion about cremation, I don't believe that there's a good and that there's a bad. I believe that there's a good and a better. Cremation is good. If you choose to do cremation, then that's your choice and it's a good option. But I think the better option, at least in my point of view, is for burial for the Christian. The reason why I say this is because there's so much symbolism with burial in the scriptures. Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15:3 and 4 that the death, the burial, and the resurrection is what we need to believe in with Jesus Christ. Apparently he put burial in there for some reason as a symbol, and apparently it's important to Paul. Burial is a symbol of the resurrection that is to come, that we could be relieved of our mortal bodies and take on glorified bodies. Whereas cremation is a symbol of a pagan worldview that we are done with this body and let's get reincarnated to the next one. So resurrectionists believe that we have to strive and hope for that new resurrected body, whereas reincarnationists believe that they are done with that body and hopefully this cycle of pain in this life is done. So while God can definitely resurrect the cremated body, I don't believe that cremation necessarily points to God's resurrection. That's a great question that someone asked, and we'll be doing more questions right now.